Hello, my beautiful wildflowers. How are you today? Alexis here with Modesty. Happy Skincare Monday. And today we'll be talking about patch testing and the importance of patch testing in skincare and also makeup. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Okay, my beautiful wildflowers, welcome back. And today for Skincare Monday, I want to talk to you about something that's very important. And that's patch testing chemicals, products, or anything that you're not familiar with before you put it on your face or your neck area that's very sensitive. And the reason why you want to do this is to proactively prevent, any kind of injuries that can lead to scarring or any kind of painful inflammation. And this is so very important to do with a lot of the cosmeceuticals that you see out there, especially skincare, right? Especially if it says acids. And those are pretty much a give me though, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot more than just acids that's out there that you should be testing before you put it on your sensitive areas, especially your face and your neck area. And so, but like I said, there's certain things that are gimme because it's going to be possibly irritating, like anything that says acids in there. But there's certain things that you may not know, like cosmetics that you should be testing, and like eyeshadow. Yeah, eyeshadow. You should be doing a skin test on certain types of eyeshadows before you put it near your eyes. And I'll go more into that in details, but I want to kind of cut this out piece by piece. I did do a presentation as I always do, and I have it in front of me in case I need to refer to it, not because I don't know the material, but because I don't want to miss anything, right? And so I want to make sure I say all of the proper words. But having said that, like right now I looked down, I said, oh yeah, I have to make disclosure. I am not a medical doctor, okay? I am a registered nurse, and I am a person who uses a lot of skincare, and I have a lot of experience with skincare and makeup. But having said that, I'm not here to diagnose or give you any kind of clinical information to diagnose, okay? So leave that to the doctors, to especially specifically to the dermatologists or plastic surgeons or whatever it may be. But if you do have any questions after this video, please leave them below and let's see if I can guide you to the right person, right direction, whatever it may be, okay? But I'm glad I looked down and I'm glad I made the PowerPoint, because otherwise I would have totally forgotten that piece, and that is so important. So, having said that, let's get going. So what is a patch test? Okay, a patch test is a proactive way of avoiding inflammation and injury that can lead to scarring or any kind of prolonged, uneasiness or anything that can happen to your skin. Because of what the product contains. And because there's so many things in the products anymore, and sometimes that list is so long, it's really hard to tell which one's going to react, and also which ones you may react to, okay? So it's really important, especially for women, because we all are built differently. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it may work for you. Because number one, we have hormones in our system, or the lack of hormones, right? And so all of these things are actually could be triggers, or could be cause, or it could be just there, and the chemicals don't like it at that time that you applied it. And so this is why it's really important that we do these tests. And some of the things are really easy to kind of identify. Anything that says acids on there, like salicylic acid, glycolic acid, any kind of acids like that, right? So you say, oh, it's got acid on it, I have to patch test. But there's certain things out there that you would never think that you have to patch test. And one of the things is eyeshadow. Yeah, eyeshadow. And I'll go more in depth about that, because more and more I'm seeing products come out from different companies that say do not use near the eyes. What? Yeah, you heard me. Eyeshadow that you cannot use near the eyes. And they make disclosure to say do not use it near the eyes. Okay, that's that's the way the companies protect themselves from liability if something goes wrong. So I'll go into that a little bit later. Let me stay on track here. Let me look down to make sure I'm on track. Okay. So as far as skincare products that you leave on, like creams, serums, and things like that, you should test those things for 3 days. Okay. And I say 3 days, and that's like a loose guideline because that's so it gives your skin an opportunity not to just experience it once. Maybe once it's okay. Second day it might be okay, but third day, as you increase the dosage or the amount that's being used or the frequency, the skin may say, whoa, I really don't like this stuff. And on the third day, you have a reaction. So you want to give it 3 days, especially when they're like serums and any kind of creams and things like that may have acids or anything like that. And this is a reason why you don't want to use products with perfume or fragrance. Because just because you've not reacted yet, and I know people have said, well, my skin's not that sensitive, it has nothing to do with sensitivity alone. Sensitivity is one thing. I mean, some people just react to anything immediately, right? They're so sensitive. But there are people that over time, I'm using products with these ingredients that are not good for you, that they do have a chance of reacting in the future. Just because they have very resistant skin doesn't mean that they're not going to ever react. I have very resistant skin. I can put all kinds of acids on my face. I use retin A, I use alpha hydroxy acid, I use beta hydroxy acid, all of those. I mean, and yet my skin doesn't react, but I built up to that, right? And also I make sure that all of my products are fragrance free and things that are that doesn't known to cause allergies that are not necessary. All of those things like essential oils, okay? Even if it's natural, all of these things, you should test it. You should still do a patch test. So like I was saying, I'm getting distracted now. Sorry about that. So for 3 days, you want to put it on a site that is sensitive. What I mean by sensitive is place where you don't typically put these type of products, but still you're safe. If something happens, it's not a big deal. And that's usually like the inside of your upper arm, near your elbow there, but the inside, you see that sensitive spot there. You can put that, put it there for 3 days in a row and to see. And if you develop like irritation, hives, swelling, and any kind of blistering or itchiness, don't use it. It means it's not gonna do anything for you other than create havoc on your face. So you want to do that for 3 days in a row. Okay, and let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep. And also, those are things that you leave on. So you want to leave it on. But now, get this very clear. If it's a product that you're supposed to wash off, okay? Let's say you have peels, masks, or anything like that. You want to put a small amount of the product in a sensitive area and leave it on for as long as what the product says. If it says 10 minutes, it means 10 minutes. It doesn't mean 15 minutes while you go watch TV or while you upload a video or whatever. If it says 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. Then wash it off, follow the directions. Do it again the next day and again the third day, okay? So very important. Do not leave those products on, okay, overnight. Whereas like cream and serums and things like that, that's meant to be left on, leave it on, okay? And that's that. And so another piece too, as far as the, I say leave on products, and just be careful because if you have one that says don't use, even if it's a leave-on and you test it on yourself, it works out. But if it says do not use near the eyes, don't use it near the eyes, okay? Especially if you're new to the product or you're new to that class of products. And one of the things is like retinol, right? Retinol, you don't want to put it around here, all right? Your eyes, you don't want to get near here. And also in this area when you're new. You see that? Whatever you covered, your hand covered like this is an easy way for me to know. And these areas, you have to be careful because here and here, it can react. Here is not as sensitive, but what I like to do when I start using like something strong like that, retinol acid, I like to cover this area and definitely not do the eyes area, this part. and then build up to it little by little, especially here, but never my eyes area. Retinol, no, no, no. And make sure you follow directions. And just because other people, you watch influencers, Hot and Flashy Angie, she's a good example. She's been using her skincare for like years and years and years, and she's able to really pile on those, you know, I mean, the strongest of acids and retin-A and all that stuff, and kind of sort of like I'm able to do, but not as much as she can do, because she's been doing this many more years more. And people go behind her and they try the same things and they're like, oh my God, I burned myself. Well, yeah, hello. I mean, you can't, you really have to use your common sense, okay? And so really have patience. Skincare is patience. And one of the first thing, patch test. I know you're like, oh, I don't want to do a patch test. That means 3 days. I have this brand new serum. I want to use it now. No, take my word for it. Do the patch test. I still do, okay? Even believe it or not, I do patch tests on some eyeshadows. And let's jump into that. Let me make sure I got everything as far as all of the, yep, I think so. Yep. And the biggest thing is, if any redness, burning, itching, hives, or anything like that develop in the site of your testing, don't use the product, okay? Don't, because it means you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna be able to tolerate it. And sometimes rinse-off products like shampoos and things like that, you can also, you know, depending on what's in there, because sometimes they have these like Nioxin and other kind of medicated shampoos. You may want to test those as well to kind of rub it on like you would shampoo your scalp with it, and then rinse it like you would a regular shampoo, and do that for a couple of days as well, because even shampoos could, you know, if you're a very sensitive person, okay? And so next, moving on, this is the part that I need you guys to be paying attention, because aside from the, you know, the skincare, which is pretty, you know, no-brainer, cis acids or anything like that. If it's some product that you've never used before, do a skin patch test. And I mean, that's a smart thing to do. And I know in the past I've gone, you know, years without doing a patch test, and I was okay. But, you know, all the stuff that they're putting into the bottles today, I mean, it's a little bit more harsher. And believe me, I had a reaction one time, even after a patch test on something I used. And after that, it really shocked me, actually. And so I'm a little bit more careful, and I use actually not just one area, but I use multiple areas. Sometimes I use the back of my neck as well, and as well as the inside of my arms when it comes to like skincare, just to be sure, because it's not a good thing. So the other piece that, like I said, I need you to pay attention on is eyeshadows. You should patch test eyeshadows. Matter of fact, I recently patch tested eyeshadows from Colourpop, because when I started using Colourpop, I realized on the back of it, because I read everything, I'm a reader, and it said, and I'm going to read to you right now, on the back of the package, in very, very tiny writing, it says, not safe for use in the immediate eye area. And this is signified by an asterisk in Colourpop, okay? These things are so tiny, you know I can't see. But when anything is in a small print, I'll get a magnifying glass out like this, and I will read it, because there's a reason why it's in small print. And so I really look for that. And let me tell you, it's going to be like, I know you're not going to be able to read it. It's here, okay? It's the first line there. And it's saying that there's some eyeshadows in this palette is not safe for use in the immediate eye area. And its Colourpop is pretty consistent, because I went back and looked at all of their palettes and they're all the same. It has little asterisks. You see the little asterisks? I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but in this palette, this is a 9-pan palette. 4 of the colors are not safe to use in the immediate eye area. And what they're saying is, I'm gonna, you know, that's a liability. In case you go blind, I warned you, okay? Because one of the easiest way to actually sue a company is failure to warn. If you fail to warn the consumer that something has the potential to be harmful, then, you know, you're gonna be paying, okay? So what they do is they put these things on there, because these are pigments, and more cosmetic companies are using pigments, because people are looking for that. They're looking for that deep, dark pigment that actually stays on the skin or that's easy to see, whatever it may be. And so, yeah, they're going to these chemicals that actually are harmful to use near the eyes. So you would think, why would you put it into eyeshadow? Why? Right? But yeah. And then so I took 4 of the colors. It wasn't this one. It was actually my Menage a Moi palette. There's also some in this palette with the asterisk. Also says it down here, teeny tiny. I mean, look how tiny this stuff is. Okay? And there's some dots. There's a dot here. There's a dot here. There's a dot here. And so all of these are ones that are not safe to use near the immediate eye area. And so what I did was I took 4 of the different colors and I put a little 4 dots, okay, on the inside of my arm around here. And then I put an occlusive dressing. An occlusive dressing is something they use after surgery to kind of like put it over. It's clear. And then so that way the no water penetrates in and the wound stays kind of, you know, tightly closed. And so I used that because I want to be able to shower with it and not, you know, not wash off the product. And so I kept it like that for a couple of days, right? 24 hours, couple of days. What? It's 12 and 12. Yeah. It's 24 hours, right? And then when I took it off, I saw out of the 4, there was 3 that stained. It stained my skin, but when I washed it off, there was no redness. And I waited also and made sure that, you know, it wasn't going to develop. There was no redness, no inflammation, none of that. So I knew it was okay for my arm, but you're still always taking a chance when you put it near the eyes, okay? And another thing too, like I said, it stains. And when you put on makeup like eyeshadow, and what I'm wearing is actually from this palette. I did a video earlier introducing this. And you'll see it in a couple of days. And I use a very opaque primer so that way my eyelids do not get stained. You know, and you know, if you get it in the whites of your eyes, it could also stain. So be very careful. That's why they tell you don't use it in immediate, you know, area of your eyes. And that's Colourpop. They're pretty consistent on all of their palettes in where it says that. But there's another one, right? Okay, there's another palette. ABH, Anastasia of Beverly Hills. Their Norvina palette, it's got a lot of them. I mean, but they don't have the little asterisks. But what they do is they put all of the numbers down here that you cannot use near your immediate wall. Look at this whole thing here. This whole row, the first row, is all the eyeshadows that they tell you. Let me tell you what it says. Warning. Not intended for use around the immediate eye area. And these and all of the shades have numbers and letters. So these are the shades in this one palette, okay, that you cannot use around the immediate eye area. A2, A3, B2, B3, B5, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, D1, D2, D4, E1, E4, E5. Did I just read like 90% of the palette? So if you look, you'll see the colors that are highly pigmented, okay? Okay, here we go. All right? And you notice they have like A2, A1, A2, A3, all that, right? And so the colors that I just read off to you are the ones that you cannot use near the immediate eye area. Well, you can, but you know, you're taking a chance. And let me see, I'm not sure if it's in the plastic part of it. Yeah, see, this is another thing I don't like about Anastasia, well, at least Norvina palettes, right? Is the fact that they don't put it on the palette anywhere. Nowhere in the palette says that. Nowhere on the back of the palette says that either. And to me, that's wrong. Because how many people read the back of the box? And how many people keep the box? I do, but not a whole lot of other people do. And not a whole lot of other people read the back of the box. And I have a problem with that. And had I known that before I bought this palette, I wouldn't have bought it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's beautiful. I haven't even used it, to be honest with you, because, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, you know? And I mean, just to have it on the, just to have it on this here, on the outside of it, it covers them liability-wise. They warned you. It's not their fault you didn't read the box, right? But it's wrong. It's wrong. And whereas, I do respect a little more of what Colourpop does, and you throw this away, guess what? It's also on the back of your palette, okay? And it's more likely that you're going to read the back of this. Okay, and it does, and it even says here with the asterisk, not intended for use in the immediate eye area. It's right on the palette, and the asterisks are very clear. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, I like the way they do that because I can look in the back and go, what do those asterisks mean? That's weird. Some of those have asterisks. And I'm going to be looking for that legend that says, what is an asterisk? Okay. To me, as far as a business, I think, yeah. I'm not going to say any more about that because I don't want to get on the soapbox. I'm already on there, aren't I? But anyway, I'll be honest with you, Colourpop is consistent. And more I learn about this company, I really like it. And yeah, and more I learn about company like ABH, less I like it. Yeah, but that's my opinion. I know there's people that love Anastasia Beverly Hills and those things don't bother them. It's okay, but I'm going to tell you about it in case you don't know about it, okay? And so the whole big point here is, today's lesson is, do skin patch tests on anything you have not used before. Glycolic acids, AHA, BHA, any kind of acids, any kind of non-acids, actually, if you think about it, alkaline products, which is the pH is high, that's actually more harmful than acids with a pH is low. I don't know if you knew that. Anything with a high pH alkaline can cause a more severe of a burn than something that's acid. So just science lesson for you, or chemistry lesson for you. Anyway, so that's that. Let me make sure. Okay, let me read this to you. I actually put the slide in here. Okay, I guess I talked too much because my camera just shut off. So I was getting ready to read to you the final thing that's very important, and I'm going to read to you because I don't want to misspeak it, okay? Listen. Please note that the patch test is only for determining initial irritation reactions to products and does not guarantee similar results when applied to other areas of the body, including the face, or after continuous use. It does not account for underlying conditions and should not be used for diagnosis of hypersensitivity or allergic contact dermatitis. If you are concerned about starting a new product, please consult a dermatologist prior to use. Okay? That's my little disclosure to you. And I wanted to make sure that you guys heard it that way because I don't want you to misunderstand the way I said it before. So anyway, my beautiful wildflowers, if I added any value, please hit like. And if you have any questions at all, please put them below. And, just remember, this is really important stuff. I know you guys have been using products without doing a skin patch test probably for years and years and years and decades and decades and decades for some of you. I know I have. So it is that. So anyway, the surprise. See, I almost left without giving you the surprise. So anyway, as you guys know that I've been running giveaways and things like that and announcing them and telling you to put a certain word in there. But what I did was I don't want to pick it. So I had my husband pick a video just out of the picture. So look at this picture, just pick one. So he picked one. And then I put just open comments, okay? No specific words like I always ask and say, put in holiday, put in eyeshadow. I didn't do that. Just any comment to pick a winner. Okay, this is a surprise giveaway, okay? Surprise, unannounced surprise giveaway. And the prize is you'll have a choice. Do you want makeup or do you want skincare or do you want a mixture of two? Okay, and this is how I did it in my head. And I've been thinking about this a lot. And I want to say the winner of this surprise giveaway is Niecy Watson. Congratulations, Niecy. Please DM me, private message me, and let me know where you want your stuff sent and let me know what it is that you want. Either makeup, skincare, or the mixture of the both. Okay, and I'll get it to you. So, my beautiful wildflowers, I hope you watched until the end to see the surprise. And so, as I always say, my beautiful wildflowers, don't sweat the small stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.